Good morning, everybody.
Because of the pandemic, it'll run for the next 4 nights from 9 to 11 Eastern. This is USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world.
I want to talk about that. I want you to read that article.
Okay, I just
Look it over.
I needed to send it to my email.
All right.
It's kind of a mess. That article is kind of a mess. I want to look through it.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141.
We can talk about it, and then you can kind of read snippets back and forth instead of reading the whole thing.
Protest groups clash in Portland, Oregon last night. Members of Patriot Prayer were demonstrating against Antifa and criticizing recent Black Lives Matter protests. And that's when a counter-protest by Black Lives Matter started nearby. This man claimed he was just in the area and wasn't part of either demonstration, but he told a reporter,
"We were shot at, unprovoked, bear-maced, all that fun stuff. It's been 15, 20 minutes. The police are still not here. 2 live rounds, and the police still not showing up."
Many of the U.S.
Scott,
troops
how are
leaving
you?
Germany won't be traveling far for their next assignment.
Scott says good morning.
Poland finalized a deal yesterday when Secretary of State Mike Pompeo signed the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. During a visit to Warsaw, it calls for more American troops to be stationed in that European country. President Trump calling the agreement truly historic. A new study says cats can get COVID-19. Researchers at Texas A&M University say it's the first study to demonstrate that cats can catch the virus.
What?
Elite researchers.
Yeah, no, I know I'm live.
Positive. Show
I know I'm live.
symptoms from the stuffy nose to other basic symptoms, but the virus is
okay, yeah.
We'll read it. I want you to read it though, at some point.
So far, there's a small and growing list of virus cases reported among pets in the U.S. And for USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
The opinions expressed on this program are
What are you
those of
starting
the
out with?
host and do not express the views of WVVF ownership or Hometown
hang on a
Talk
second.
Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
We are starting off
What's happening? What's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for
the hybrid model for the schools.
with your host,
Talking about that.
Stay tuned for news.
I read some of the article.
1530 WVVF.
Some of it, just some of it.
As long as you know what's Driscoll, Texas. Driscoll, North Dakota.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Middleboro in Review for the 16th of August, 2020. We're going to say good morning to Don.
Good morning.
How are you, Don?
I'm good. Nice morning. It's been cool. It's cool last couple of days. It's been a little overcast. We haven't seen the sun, but the beginning of the week was pretty hot. So
Yeah,
well,
it
yesterday
was.
was good working weather for people. People working outside in the heat during the summer. I feel for them because it's been tough. Summer's been tough for anybody working construction or landscapers or anybody who works outside. So anybody working yesterday, they got a little reprieve because it was nice. So
Speaking of the weather, the nice weather, and
the nice, cool, overcast weather, but it's cool.
yeah, we may have some rain in the forecast today. 74 degrees for the high
In Taunton,
in Middleboro. It's
Okay.
67 currently, 77 tomorrow, and 84 on Tuesday. For Taunton, 66 degrees currently, 74 74 for the high, 77 on Monday, and 83 on Tuesday. Driscoll, North Dakota, 54 degrees currently, with a high of 84. And Driscoll, Texas, 76 degrees currently, 100 degrees for the high today. So it's still very hot over there in
wow,
Driscoll,
Texas,
Texas.
right?
Yes, it's still very hot today here in
It'd be amazing.
August.
I mean, I know you do those reports on those two towns, and I'd like to go to those towns. We should go. Get our pictures taken in front of the Welcome to Driscoll.
Yeah, that
I don't
would be
think we
fun.
can do. I don't think we can do it in one trip.
That would be fun.
Not these days, anyway. With the COVID-19 emergency calm down a little bit before we start traveling, but that'd be pretty cool. But I think one of these days you're gonna have the same temperature. Yeah.
One of these days.
One of these days it's gonna be the same.
You never know. You never know.
Well, that's such an extreme. I mean, North Dakota, it's pretty, on the Canadian border, and the Driscoll, Texas is what Corpus Christi, you said, right? Like the suburb of
Yes,
Corpus Christi.
Corpus. It is a suburb of Corpus Christi. Yes.
What about North Dakota? Where is that? We never really. Is that like in the middle of the state?
Yeah, pretty much middle of the state. I'm not exactly sure where it's near. I have to look at it again.
I'm gonna do some research on that town, and maybe we can talk about it. I know everyone out there wants to know about Driscoll, Texas, and Driscoll, North Dakota. I think everyone's so excited that they're gonna run out and go there when things calm down, right?
Yeah, and I'd like to, incorporate a story or two from
Maybe you should call the city
from
officials.
from those areas as well.
Maybe you should contact the city officials and maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll call.
That'd be fun.
Wouldn't that be fun if like the mayor of Driscoll, Texas called?
That'd be fun.
At 7
It
in
would
the
be.
morning and they call, just
It would be.
because your name's
It would
Joey
really be
Driscoll.
fun. It would be fun.
Well, I know Paul talks about it. I think he gets a kick out of that.
And speaking of the Facebook here, and I'm gonna say good morning to Scott. Scott's saying good morning to us. He's
Good morning, Scott.
watching on the Facebook this morning.
Stone Mountain, Georgia. How you doing?
All right, so we're gonna start today's show with Middleboro
That's
Schools.
Hence the name of the show, Middleboro.
Middleboro Schools and what they're doing for their reopening plan. They're gonna reopen in September for the new school year.
They are opening?
They're gonna be doing a hybrid model.
Oh,
Yes. Hybrid model and also a in-person day as well, where kids will be in the school itself. So let me read this article. It's from the Enterprise. I'm going to read a little bit of it. The town's public school students will go to classes in person 2 times 1 week and 3 times the following week and learn remotely the remaining days. Superintendent of Schools Brian E. Lynch recommended a hybrid model of learning to start the school year during a 2-hour school committee meeting held via Zoom on Monday afternoon. Lynch said 2 of the main drivers for Middleboro to learn hybrid were the number of students and staff in the building at the time and transportation limitations. But the superintendent said there were 3 guiding principles to the plan: well-being, relationships, and learning for everyday students every day. The social emotional health of each student is paramount as we navigate the numerous challenges that so many of our students have faced throughout these last 6 months, Lynch said. The town is opting for a slightly different hybrid model than many of the hybrid plans approved by school committees in the greater Brockton region. Middleboro's plan would have students in one cohort attend classes in person on Monday and Tuesday 1 week and Monday to Wednesday in person the following week, with remote learning taking place the remaining days. The other cohort would attend in-person classes Wednesday to Friday the first week and just Thursday and Friday the second week, with the remaining days online. Most other local districts have opted to have Wednesday as a common remote learning day, sending students to in-person classes 4 times every 2 weeks, as opposed to 5 days in Middleboro. So this plan, different than most of the other plans in the area. What are your thoughts about
I think
that?
sounds like a good recipe to me.
Absolutely.
I think the hybrid model would work. Weevil our way in as far as the remote learning. I think I've talked to some people. I've talked to some teachers since it started, and they said some remote learning works great for some people who weren't doing too well, and then it didn't work for other people.
Yeah.
So this is the best of both worlds, I think, because you're doing a little both. You're doing in person and remote, and you're not cooped up at the house all. People are talking to their friends again, and they're socializing, because nothing's worse than being cooped up in a house and not seeing your friends. I mean, high school, school in general, adolescents need for their friends. They need to interact. That's all about growing up. And Superintendent Lynch, I met him a few times, and I am so impressed with him. He is a smart guy. He's really on the ball. I remember he's been superintendent for a while, but I remember you filming a couple. I think it was for the school. You filmed a couple. Did you film a couple meetings for the school? I remember sitting with you.
Yes, I did.
But whatever. But I remember him. I mean, really impressed with his leadership. I think he's a great superintendent. So yeah, he's really good.
He is. He's really doing a great job.
You know what I'm saying? Middleboro in general has always been a town that has its stuff together. As far as they're just smart. They're really with everything they've had.
Yep.
And their common sense approach, I think, is normal. It's not, then they got a normal board of selectmen. People are normal compared to some other towns that they're out there with these crazy ideas. There's a normal idea. They want to get the kids back to school. They go see what works. They fail it out, and they go from there. I mean, any parent could opt out if they're scared. I mean, but I think the majority of the kids want to go back to school. The majority of the kids want to see their friends. The majority of the kids miss. Now, put yourself in that situation 3 years ago. You loved going to school, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You loved your teachers?
Yes.
All right? Principal Brannigan? He was the best,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
All your principals, all your teachers, everybody, all the teachers, you were going to TV production. Mr. Pelletier. Imagine not seeing your teachers for 6 months out of the year. That's a loss, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you have a bond with your teachers during that time, and this is a very special time. And I feel so bad for the kids. They lost out on everything. I mean, they tried to make it up, and they did the graduations the best they could, but it's not normal.
It wasn't the same. Yeah.
No, it's not. And I feel I feel bad, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I think Middleboro is a smart town for doing this, because they know. You just can't lock the kids in a closet and think they can. Remote learning is for everybody, because it's not. But maybe some people. Did it work for you?
No,
Okay.
it didn't work for me. Hence why I'm not deciding to go this fall, because it's
Yeah, you got to wait
It's not
until the
working for
schools
me.
are open. I understand.
it's not working.
You have your way of doing things. You told me, I go to school, and I go to the cafeteria, and I do my homework. Was that what you told me?
Yeah.
That's your little, you get yourself a snack.
That's the schedule I go by when I go there. Yeah.
You did your first year. You did good. You got all your classes, which is good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about the second semester. But
Yeah, I know.
But that was your routine. Everyone has their routine. For other people, the remote learning works better.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
But the thing is, you need social skills too. Kids can't be cooped up.
Yeah.
They need to interact with their friends, because what happens when they graduate? You have to interact with people. You get a job, you have to be able to interact with other co-workers. You have to interact with other. Even if you go to another school, you have to interact. That's what this country's made of. You have to be able to interact.
Yeah, that's important. Social skills in public, it's important. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think so too.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, you can't lock. I mean, with this new world of computers, there's other people think that you just lock them in the room, and and we'll educate you that way, and this, that, and the other thing. You can't. You have to have interaction with other people.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
And with social media and texting and everything, I think a lot of it was going to the wayside, in my opinion. But now, when you really stick somebody in a room and say you can't come out, I think more people are yearning for the social, to be social with people.
Yeah, they want the interaction.
Right. So I think more people will be more social than that, because you lock someone in a room for 4 months, tell them you can't come out. This is your world. This is your world. This little room is your world. Or maybe you can go to the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? But don't leave the house.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, right?
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna
Good
take.
article, Joe.
All right.
We got discussion 1-on-1 on that one.
Yeah, good discussion. We'll have more great discussion here coming up.
Already, boy.
We'll have great discussion here coming up about the MBTA.
Boy, we're a bunch of
coming up.
blabbermouths on this one. It's 7:21. I think we need time for a commercial. Right?
So the MBTA, when we come back, the MBTA has announced that they're going to extend commuter rail discounts through 2020, and that's travel on commuter rail between Lynn and Boston. So we're going to talk about that when we return here on Middleboro in Review on WVBF 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. We're also on TuneIn. Search up WVBF 1530. You'll find us. And we're also on YouTube, Middleboro in Review. Middleboro in Review on YouTube. You'll find all the shows, or most of the shows. I am right now trying to upload every single show onto YouTube. So,
but listen on the radio, because it's a much better sound.
absolutely.
Because the YouTube's,
The YouTube is the Facebook Live audio. So,
well, if it's off your little phone though.
it's off of Facebook Live. Yeah.
Right, but I mean, if you're listening on the radio, you wake up at 7,
Yep.
you have 5,000 watts
Yes.
of power.
Or TuneIn is the same thing too.
Yeah,
You
TuneIn's
can
the
listen
same
into it
thing.
on
Yeah,
TuneIn.
It's going through the big antenna on County Road.
Yeah.
Right, the 2 antennas.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and we will return with some MBTA commuter rail talk. We'll be right back. Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Morning, Paul.
Okay, we got 40.
I need to get a hold of Paul. I want to get the number of that guy who's on. He had on yesterday the adventure guy, the guy who does the wilderness thing.
Paul, if you're still on, drop the number of the guest you had on, the first guest you had on, so that we can.
I want to
contact him.
I want to know if he knows how to get to the main woods from Moosehead Lake all the way up to Fort Kent. I know there's a way. Is that Spark Street you said?
Yeah, I just did Spark Street.
Did you finish that commercial, Joe?
I have to redo it because I tried recording it again and it was like 1 minute and 45 seconds. So I have to redo it again.
Why don't you just have him do another one? Call him.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna.
just say, keep it within a minute, please.
Okay.
And just have him do it.
Okay.
Or maybe go down there and work with him at the place.
Yeah, absolutely.
That might
That's
work.
that's important too.
Or maybe you both could say something.
Yeah.
Maybe you can interview him. It could be an interview commercial.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know how you ever the interview commercials?
Yes,
They work out.
we
pretty
had
good.
one.
Yeah.
We had one on the station.
You have one?
We had one on the station.
What was it?
It was, what was it? It was something for a flower shop. I don't remember.
Yeah, do like an interview commercial and keep it in a minute, and you can interview them. You know.
Yeah.
And just use your phone. Your phone's good enough, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then just tape it.
Yeah, alright.
I don't think you need to put music, right?
Yeah.
Does Chris think you should put music in?
He'll put it in.
An interview commercial?
He'll put it in. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll find the right. He always gets the good music.
He always knows what to put in there.
Oh,
So
yeah, he's awesome with that.
he'll do it.
Please visit cvma2-2.org.
One more commercial.
Hey, I picked that shirt off for you.
Huh?
I picked that shirt off for you.
Yeah. It's a nice little shirt here.
White.
And people for the Facebook, you can see it.
Dad picked that out for him.
It's a good shirt. Yeah, I do like it.
But it's not a black t-shirt, like Paul. Tell Paul I wear black in the middle of summer, too. Black pants. I work outside.
Alright.
MBTA.
Alright. Yep, the MBTA. Coming back in 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back here on Middleboro in review for the 16th of August. Wow. Already the middle of August. Already. A few weeks it'll be fall. A few weeks. September 1st will be meteorological fall.
Yeah,
I believe
so
it is.
What, we got the big snowstorm on September 2nd?
So that should be fun. We got hurricane season that's still in full effect.
We don't want any hurricanes. Not now. People are in tough shape.
Yes,
People are
but
not working. Business is, we just let's go.
like
ahead.
I said, hurricane season is in full effect. So
I
just
feel-
watch the
I feel-
forecasts.
I feel if there's a higher being watching over us, give us a break this year because we need to get things back in order.
Because what I've been hearing is not really great. I've been hearing that it's going to be a higher
You can hear all you want.
level of storms this year.
I heard that last year too, Joe, and it was quiet.
Yes, I know, but you never know. You never know
Yeah,
with
I say if
with the hurricane season.
I say pray that everyone's gotta pray because this country does not need. I mean, with the pandemic and everything that's
Doesn't
going
need a
on,
major hurricane.
Some would say that Hurricane Sandy had something to do with the election. I mean, a lot of people couldn't vote in New Jersey and parts of New York because they got wiped out. Not saying that was it, but it's too close to an election. That's not good.
Yes. All right. So MBTA. The MBTA has extended commuter rail discounts through the 2020 year. Commuter rail passengers will be able to travel between Lynn and Boston at the same price as a subway ride through the end of 2020 under a pilot program extension the MBTA announced Thursday. Zone 1A fares will be accepted for trips between North Station and both the Lynn and Riverworks commuter rail stations through December 31st, adding 4.5 more months to what was originally a 1-week test run. The T accepted Zone 1A fares for Lynn and Riverworks as a pilot program between May 22nd and May 31st, then revived the practice starting July 1st so the MBTA could track more data about fare changes and to relieve crowding, a new risk during the COVID-19 era on buses. This temporary zone change pilot aims to manage passenger volume and promote physical distancing on buses, and we continue to encourage our North Shore riders to consider this commuter rail option. MBTA General Manager Steve Poftak said in a Thursday press release. So, this is a good thing that the MBTA is doing. They are discount for commuter rail in the Lynn and Boston areas.
That's like a subway.
It's
line almost.
it's a really good thing.
They're
And it's important, like it said in the article, for social distancing too, to try to relieve the crowding on the buses
right.
during this time.
Right, and supposedly they want to run the blue line to Lynn because it terminates in Wonderland, which is right on 1A, and there's old rail bed that runs along the beach between 1A and the beach, and then the bridge would have to be rebuilt, and then I think they're coming that way. That's the main connection, but that commuter rail and that subway line are totally different paths because the commuter rail runs through Chelsea and goes up that way, and, runs over one of the Mystic River bridges, splits at Sullivan Square, goes over, then it's got Chelsea, and then it goes up Eastern Ave and runs that way, and it comes close to Wonderland, but not too close, and then across the Revere Meadowlands, I'd say, right across the swamp there, and then into Lynn. So that is a good idea, and I think they're looking at their ridership on the commuter rail too, because I'm looking at the trains when I get stopped, and there's really no one on there right now. There's still no one really, and maybe they should do the same thing for Quincy Center and Braintree too. That line runs parallel with the red line. Same with Needham, not Needham. I'm sorry, Forest Hills. Certain amount of trains run that line. Yeah, that's the orange line, and the same deal with Malden Center. There's a commuter rail stop there, and same deal with Porter Square, Porter Station. There's a commuter rail station with the red line there too.
So we'll continue to follow this.
I think they're gonna look at it. Looking at who's riding. It doesn't sound like many people are riding that line.
Yeah. So we'll continue to follow this.
That's a good. I guess it's smart, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely is,
There's your
especially
social
with the
distancing.
social distancing.
That's your social distancing.
Yeah. So we're going to continue to follow this. When there's new developments, you will hear about it
Yeah, good.
first.
I'm
Here
thinking
on
anyway. That's
Middleboro
good.
Review.
I remember how before COVID-19 came around, I remember how bad the subway was. You couldn't even fit in a red line car. It was like a cattle car. Are we ever going to see that again? People aren't going to sign off on that anymore. But then what happens when more companies open up? I'm noticing a lot more traffic. People don't want to do that again. Maybe that'll be gone forever. I don't think people are going to want to do that anymore because it's been that way for 60 years. It's been that way. I mean, they want you to run. They want you to, they encourage you to, go public transportation. Okay, but meanwhile you're standing. You're clustered next to people. You're breathing down their throat. Anybody who's listening who's rode the T knows this during rush hour. And then, who's to say? You don't know. Car breaks down. I've seen it really bad. I was like, why is it so bad? I mean, does everyone decide to take the T, or did they skip a car? Did they pull something out of service to save money? You don't know. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Are they running all the cars? Are they maintaining the vehicles they're supposed to? I would like to know that, I feel good if they are doing a good job. I don't know.
All right, so let's move on to.
Yeah, let's move on.
Don't worry, it's gonna get more heated later.
It's gonna get more exciting.
It's gonna get more heated later.
Don't jab them.
Let's switch gears to sports now.
Oh, okay.
We have a little bit about sports. What you will not hear in this sports segment is anything about the Red Sox. I am disgusted with the Red Sox.
What, their playing performance?
With their performance. I am disgusted. I am not going to talk about the Red Sox.
Not today? Not this show?
Not today. Probably not ever for the rest of the season.
Oh boy.
I think I'm done with the Red Sox.
Who's the Red
I think a
Sox?
lot of people are done
Who's
with
the
the
Red Sox guru in this radio station who works here? Tony, right?
Yeah. I think I'm done with the Red Sox for this season. Honestly.
Wow.
But, I don't know.
You can't say that.
We'll see. Maybe they'll go on a 30-game winning streak.
Come on.
I don't know, but
2004. Look back at their.
I don't like how it's going.
Look like what happened in 2004. I think people were talking this way in August about them, and they turned around and they won.
Yeah.
Maybe no.
I don't know.
They were supposed to start in April. Get it? Yeah, they didn't start to August.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right.
Give them
Well,
give them a little break. Come on. Throw them a bone.
maybe they go on a 20-game winning streak.
You got a soapbox.
I don't know, but
We gotta talk about.
Bruins are doing good.
We gotta talk about dot throwing or something.
the Bruins, they're doing good.
Okay.
The Bruins won Game 3, 3-1. So the Bruins are doing good. The Bruins are up 2-1 right now against the Carolina Hurricanes. Hopefully, they can win that series in 5. Hopefully, they can put away Carolina. I'd like to see a Eastern Conference final with the Lightning and Bruins, because those are two good teams. I have been very impressed with the Lightning this playoff. Extremely impressed because just how much time they've played. They won that 5 overtime thriller with the Blue Jackets, I believe it was. And they are still doing really well. So I like Tampa right now. I really do. I like Tampa. I want to see a Bruins versus Lightning Eastern Conference final, or an Eastern final for the East. The West, that's wide open. It's wide open. I mean, Las Vegas is, I believe, the number 1 seed in the West. And they are up 3-0 against the Chicago Blackhawks in their series. So they're doing well. And there's some other surprises as well in the West. So the West is wide open, I would think. But enough about hockey for now. We'll talk about it more next week because we will know more. We'll know more about the second round next week because I think some of these series will be over by the end of this week or the beginning of this week. Especially the Las Vegas Chicago series. I think that is winding down. Like I said, Las Vegas is up 3-0. It is possible Chicago comes back and wins 4 in a row. It's happened before. I don't think it's going to happen here, though. But you never know with Chicago. Chicago is a good team. You can't count Chicago out. They are a good team. A lot of history. A lot of great history with Chicago. And they've won Stanley Cups in the past decade as well. So they've done very well. They've won Stanley Cups recently. So you can't count them out because they still have a really great team, even though they're down 3-0. What I really want to focus on is the Triple Crown. In a couple weeks, September the 5th, the Kentucky Derby will take place. And the post time is to be decided. There's no post time yet. Coverage begins at 3 on NBC. So that's going to be fun to watch. The Kentucky Derby in September 5th. And then followed by the Preakness Stakes, October the 3rd. And that will finish up the Triple Crown. Tiz the Law won the first race of the 3, the Belmont, will Tiz the Law be a Triple Crown winner this year?
Oh, those
I don't
horses
know.
play? Those
I
horses,
don't know.
Those horses racing all three same horses?
I believe Tiz the Law would probably be in the Kentucky Derby. I'm not 100% sure though. I'd
That's
have to
a name
look at
to be
it.
looking for, I guess, huh?
It is a name to be looking for
That's-
because he won the horse won the Belmont.
That's awesome.
The Tiz the Law won
I
the
like the
Belmont.
name. I like the name of that horse too.
So we'll see who wins the Kentucky Derby. It's in a few weeks, September the 5th. And we also have the Patriots schedule here. I printed it out. We're just going to talk about a few games that I'm looking forward to. The Seahawks versus the Patriots in week 2. That's a game I'm looking forward to. Sunday, September 20th. It's a night game. So Sunday Night Football. I'm looking forward to that. Sunday Night Football is usually really good. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. So that's a game I'm looking forward to. Another game I'm looking forward to is Jimmy Garoppolo versus the Patriots as well. That will happen in week 7, 49ers. And that will be a 4:25 game taking place at Gillette Stadium. So the 49ers will travel to Gillette in week 7. Another great game is week 10 against the Ravens. That's going to be November 15th. That's another night game, another Sunday Night Football game against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, great quarterback for the Ravens, so that should be a fun matchup. Another fun matchup is going to be the Chiefs in week 4. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, their franchise quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, who just signed I believe it was a 10-year deal with the Chiefs. So they'll come to, actually they won't travel. Actually, it'll be a home game for the Chiefs. A very tough week 4 matchup against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Arrowhead's a tough place to play, for sure. Very tough place. So that should be a fun game. So there's a whole bunch of fun games for the Patriots this year on the schedule. So that will start in a few weeks' time. September 10th is regular season opening. So it should be fun to watch. All right, so we're going to take another quick break. And when we return, we are going to talk about the East Milton Square. So when we return, we will talk about that. We'll give more details when we return here on Middleboro in Review on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. We will be right back. All right. I'm sorry, was the sports segment too long?
No, perfect.
I needed to get all that out of the way.
No,
I had all that to talk about.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's all right. The segments are long, but they're really good. You know what I mean? We're not like blowing through all these 10, 11 segments, and we're not really getting into detail. I think people like the detail more.
Yes.
I mean, we're not the news. We're a show.
Yeah. I stand by my thoughts about the Red Sox. I'm not impressed. So I stand by that for now. Until they show me otherwise, I stand by what I said about the Red Sox.
Yeah, Danny's he's still doing a lot of films. He's doing a lot of videos there.
Many employees unable
Guy's
to
great.
work because of COVID-19 related reasons may be able to take up to 2 weeks of paid sick leave and up to 10 more weeks of paid leave to care for their children whose schools or places of care have closed or whose daycare providers are unavailable. To find out if you qualify, visit dol.gov/FFCRA or call a trained
What's this, a new
professional at
PSA?
866-4US-WAGE.
Yeah, I believe so.
This message is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Labor.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the East Milton Square thing next.
Support people in your hometown is to run community announcements. If you do belong to a nonprofit
The East Milton Square project, I
The
guess you would
fence
say.
feud between two neighbors. This
send
is
your
interesting.
community announcements along to our
Middletown, Rhode Island.
It's safe, it's fast, and allows us to get right back to you if we have a question. Send your community announcements to
Get a sign that says this is not our fence.
1530 at hotmail.com. That's WBBF1530 at hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. Your hometown radio station is AM 1530, WBBF, and 99.7 FM.
Oh, one more commercial.
If you are 75 years or older and suffer from food insecurity, the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry is here to help. We serve the families in Middleboro, Lakeville, Carver, and Rochester. Please leave a message.
You played Veterans yet?
Hotline at 508.
Yeah, I did.
What, not the first commercial?
First commercial break.
Is this the last one? Going back on after this?
Yeah, we're gonna go back on it.
Talk about the food pantry? Go right into it. Can you do that?
Yeah. Here's the article.
Might as well.
Yeah. Alright, let me try to find this article here. It's been a few weeks, so now it's buried here somewhere. There it is. Okay. Perfect. 3, 2, and we're back here on Middleboro in Review. So you just heard a PSA for the food pantry. Let's talk about the food pantry. The Sacred Heart Food Pantry at 53 Oak Street in Middleboro remains open to both existing and new households in Middleboro, Lakeville, Carver, and Rochester. Families using the pantry must live in one of those 4 towns. However, income guidelines for emergency food assistance have been temporarily waived by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The pantry has more freedom to help those facing food insecurity. New households need to call 508-947-1717 and select option 2 to register before coming to the pantry in person. Anyone concerned with entering the food pantry should know that all recommendations for maintaining cleanliness and social distancing are being followed and have been reviewed with the Middleboro Health Department. No one displaying signs of sickness can enter the pantry. The pantry's personnel regularly sanitize all surfaces. They limit the number of clients in the building, requiring the wearing of masks by all volunteers and clients. They also insist on the disinfecting of hands and wearing of disposable gloves by all volunteers and clients. Anyone with concerns about coming to the pantry under those conditions should contact the pantry at 508-947-1717, selecting option 1 to discuss alternatives such as authorizing a relative or friend to pick up food. The pantry has plenty of food. The Greater Boston Food Bank is confident it can meet the pantry's needs, so it can help anyone facing food insecurity during these uncertain times. So that's very important that we continue to mention it. It's very important. It's a very important tool
It's awesome.
during this pandemic.
I'm glad that was the best thing. Have you been talking about that since March, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's key. I mean, you're a very smart Joey Driscoll for doing that, I think. And we got to talk to Ray a few weeks ago, and he sent that PSA in, but you guys got to tweak it. You got to fine tune it.
Yes, we are.
And maybe some cool music with
We're
it.
working on a second PSA.
Oh, it's gonna be the greatest PSA. We gotta get. Hopefully, Chris Keach might put some music to it, and he puts the best music in for these commercials. He's the commercial.
Hopefully, we'll have it
Yeah.
on the air for everyone next Sunday.
You gotta-
Hopefully,
you gotta-
I'm not gonna
don't
say
promise
yes or no.
nothing, You know.
I'm not gonna promise yes.
Well, you've been promising those small towns for like 1 month now, and you haven't delivered.
I wanted to
right?
do it today, but
Yeah.
we don't have time because
Yeah.
we get to talk about this next story.
I don't know. Why would you talk about that? You know, it's tough. You know, it's tough to traveling's been tough lately. Someone hear a story about someplace in Wisconsin. They're gonna hop in that car and go, not.
They'll go if when
That's the
everything
time
gets
to-
lifted.
Maybe that's the time to talk about. Right now, go
Yeah.
check out some local parks. Check out King Philip Rock Park in Sharon. It's a conservation area. It's in Sharon. I'm not sure the name of the street. It's over near Borderland State Park. But this is, I believe it's the town of Sharon. I believe it's the town of Sharon. It's a conservation. But I think the town of Sharon runs it. But they got awesome mountain bike trails. They got some areas like little caves. There's a place called Philip's Rock. King Philip Rock, I'm sorry. And anybody know about King Philip, you can read up on that. And you can probably go online, see what exactly, there's a couple areas you can get in. But it's a really nice place to walk. When it rains, it's wet, but we haven't had any rain, so everything's so dry. And the mosquitoes might be down a little bit. But you know, always wear protection and be vigilant. But King Philip Park in Sharon.
All
Yes,
right.
Go check out the caves.
Okay. We switch gears and turn our attention to East Milton Square. So,
Another park. Okay.
East Milton Square, Dad,
Yes.
give us a little context on that because I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure
We got an
what
article,
this story
but
is.
we don't want to get buried in the article, right?
Yeah.
The article's kind of.
It's long and
It's whatever.
yeah.
It just starts. Okay, we'll start with East Mountain Square. When the Southeast Expressway was built in the 50s, early 50s, they ran the highway right through the village of East Mountain Square. They cut it in two. Canyon highway. With a canyon and a highway is pretty much cement walls, and it's lowered. And they had a couple overpasses. In the 90s, they built a steel plate over the highway, almost like an underpass, like a tunnel in a way, with with lights and stuff. And they built a park in the center. And I think in the same time, they probably rebuilt the bridges that went over too, which was probably needed. That park, I go by there a lot because I work in the area. You never see anybody in there. And then about maybe 5-6 years ago, Adams Street used to run straight across to where the fire station was. Anybody knows East Milton Square? That was the overpass. Adams Street was always there, but now they closed it so they can expand the park. But it's a road. It's asphalt, and then you had to go around, and traffic's always plugged up from 2 points from, I believe, Edgewood or something. I wish I looked that up, but it's Edgewood or Edge something, which comes over where the Shell station is, and then Adams Street. They all merge and they all get plugged up there, and there's traffic like waiting for that one light to cross at the fire station. So what's that article? You guys want bits
So
and
this
pieces
is
of that
there's
article?
this timeline I want to read.
Okay.
There's this timeline I want to read. Maybe I just read the timeline and maybe that will
What's
wrap
the
it up
article?
in a-
Maybe people can go online and check out the article.
wrap it up in a nice little bow
What's the article
for everyone.
Who did the article?
WickedLocal.com.
WickedLocal. Okay. We typed in what? You just typed in East Mountain Square.
East Milton Square, WickedLocal.com. The article is called 60 Years Later, Town Still Trying to Fix East Milton Square. So that is the name of the article.
Right.
So this is timeline. 1954, construction begins on the Southeast Expressway, a 6-lane highway from South Shore to Boston. That's what's East Milton Square and 2. 1957, the first part of the expressway opens in Milton. In 1959, the expressway is completed. In the 80s, plans are floated to construct a deck over the expressway to reunite the two sides of East Milton Square. The proposal calls for shops and parking on the deck, but investors lose interest. In 1991, after a decade of planning, the state calls for a $12 million deck over the parkway. 1995, construction on the 45,000 square foot deck begins. In 1997, the deck, which includes an area of grass and tree, is completed. The project goes over budget and is a year behind schedule. In 2001, the town wanted to use the deck for parking, but the state has classified it as parkland. In 2010, a group of residents, business owners, and consultants begins to study options for the deck. And 2 years ago, options to improve the deck, walkways, and traffic signals in the square are 75% complete.
Okay, Joe. Well, they're doing some construction there now. That's why I brought this up to you, because I drove by there and I see that it's fenced off. Not sure when they closed that Adams Street to cross it. You have to go around now. There's only one way across, coming from, say, the west part, the west side, over the post office, Shell Station, the Adams Street side of Milton. I don't know why they. First of all, I don't know why they'd shut that road down. Number one. Number two, they spend what, $12 million on a park?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They, you know what I'm saying? That's just. In 1950, they cut the town in half. Same thing happened the Cross Bronx Expressway. You can't. How are you gonna fix that? You know, if the town of Milton wants a park, go put a park somewhere else, in the woods, in the park area. People, you know, I don't know. I see a few people there, but it's not. I haven't seen any grandiose events going on over there. I'm not there every day. Maybe they had, but I mean, if you read into the article, there's a couple of interviews of people say no one uses it, or Milton residents. And I go by there a lot. I don't think one or two people there. It's an asphalt park. It's next to the highway. You know, it's just. Why wouldn't you take the money and rebuild other bridges, other infrastructures? Why would you cave to a town because they cut the back on the fit? It's like that's what they agreed back in '55. Come to the town. So 30 years later, we're gonna make it up to you, and the park still isn't. No one uses it that I know of. I mean, if you read that article and tell the people what the article is, tell them who it is, who's from again. The exact article.
Wicked Local.
Wicked Local, and what's the East Milton 60 years later, right?
60 years later.
You read that article.
Town's still trying to fix East
Right.
Milton Square.
Right. $12 million. You know how many bridges and infrastructure they could have fixed with that?
Yeah. A lot.
I don't know. It just seems like they want to make people happy. Another thing, too, you buy a house on the side of the highway. Okay, you knew you bought the house on the side, so you got to listen to the highway. If you don't want to buy a house on the side of the highway, well, maybe you don't.
All right. Well, we're gonna continue this. When
we have running out of time.
More.
All right.
When we have more information on it, we're gonna
We'll talk about it next week a little bit.
Talk about it again.
It is getting heated too. I mean.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm glad we're out of
I
time.
warned that it would.
We'll
I
talk
warned
about it
you.
next week. We'll start the show. Maybe we'll start the show with that. I'm gonna research a little bit more. Maybe I'll make a phone call, find out what's going on over there over the week. Call the town hall and find out exactly, because there is construction going on there. I mean, I want to get a date on when they closed that Adams Street crossover, because I think it was 5 or 6 years ago.
All right. Sounds good.
I have to wait in traffic to go around.
Yeah.
So, all right, yeah, hey, environmental, all good and well, but meanwhile, these vehicles are idling because they can't cross fast.
Yeah.
How's that make sense?
All right. Well, today in history.
Okay, hurry up. Don't want to go
Today in history, 1841, U.S. President John Tyler vetoes a bill which called for the reestablishment of the Second Bank of the United States. Enraged Whig Party members riot outside the White House in the most violent demonstration on White House grounds in U.S. history. And in 1962, Pete Best is discharged from the Beatles to be replaced 2 days later by Ringo Starr. I think we can all agree that Pete Best did pretty well for himself.
You know what he did do as the ex-drummer of the Beatles? He still tours, or was touring.
He
He's
still
alive,
does.
right?
Yes, he still does very well for
all
himself.
through his career, he's, probably smaller clubs. He didn't make as much money as the Beatles, but he probably did Beatles songs, and he made a living out of just being an ex-Beatle. So figure that out.
Happy birthday to Steve Carell. 1962 on this day. That would make him 58 today. Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Deaths on this day. 1956, Bela Lugosi, Hungarian-American actor. 1977, Elvis Presley, American singer, guitarist,
really?
and actor, yes. August 16th,
That was
1977.
That was a tough day for a lot of people when Elvis Presley died. People were bumming out. They were so sad. That was a tough time.
2003, Idi Amin, Ugandan field marshal and politician, the third president of Uganda.
Dictator, maybe? Maybe you should have put dictator there? Is that
Well, it says president, but yes,
Yeah,
he was a dictator.
He was a dictator.
He was absolutely a dictator, yes. 2018, Aretha Franklin, American singer-songwriter.
She had the most beautiful voice. It was such a loss losing her voice.
That will do it for today's program. Next week, August the 23rd of 2020. We are quickly closing in on September. But we'll be back next week for Middleboro in Review, August 23rd, 2020. Thank you for listening, everybody. Goodbye.
Have a good week.
All right.
You go 2 minutes or one? What do you
2
got?
minutes.
You gotta end them at 8, dude.
I know. But it was 7:59 when you ended, so I had to do my Today in History.
Oh, you gotta shut me off then.
Bye-bye, everybody.